Egotastic FunTime. Hey gang, I'm JP and welcome back to Talking the Orville live show Splosion. It's been a long time since we've had an official live show Splosion Talking the Orville style, but I just realized it just a little bit ago that today, well not necessarily today, but this week is the 3-year anniversary of Talking the Orville, the thing that put Egotastic FunTime on a very small map, but it's a map nonetheless, and it's a map that I'm very proud to be a part of because all of you are there. This is where we get together, we talk about the show that we love, that we've been waiting for a long time. We wait for it every year, every 2 years. We always wait for more Orville, and we're happy to do it because that means the longer it takes, the more we have time to get together and hang out and chat and be a community, to be the Orvillians that we are meant to be, that we were born to be, and we get to, hang out, chat, relax, all cool. I'm not gonna do the Bel Air, Prince of Bel Air theme song like I usually do. How are you guys doing today? Are you ready to talk about the Orville? We got to stand up for fandom. And I'm like, well, I'm the one that's talking about standing up for fandom. And we haven't been having some Orville shows. We got to do it. So we're going old school today. And we will be talking about there's way too many damn streaming services out there. And without the Orville, I got some stuff to say about Hulu as well. And I don't know if it has to do with the pandemic, lockdown, all that stuff, but things have been going on in my mind. I'm also going to be talking about a huge new focus for Egotastic FunTime, and that focus is you. I'm going to get all into that as well, but first let's see who is here. Top chat. No, I want all chat, YouTube. Change my settings around a little bit. I want to see what everybody says, not just whatever they consider the top chat to be. I don't even know what that means. Participants right now, and there more of you are filing in as we speak. Archmage Frey, official channel member Brian Dawkins, official channel member Curtis Tate, Demetrios, Siganis, Siganis. Anyway, I'm going to call you Demetrios because that's an amazing name. I wish my name was Demetrios, but nay, I'm just old JP. Hostcat, Jesper117, Joy Don, Justin Mitchell, Kelly Hardy, official channel member Lord Thoth, Mr. Zedblade, Ozzy NF, Raj Luthra, Saber Blood Teeth, Species 1571, the Great Dilberto. I would say the greatest Dilberto, but I guess that's debatable. Just not if you're talking to me. I know for a fact it's the greatest Dilberto. And Tom Casey, and then like I said, more people are filing in, but they're popping in and I'm losing track of who I said and who I didn't say. How you doing, Ozzy? Good to virtually see you, to literally chat with you. Yeah, seems like forever. We need the Orville now. Now, a few weeks ago, you guys, we did get a brand new episode of the Orville Season 2.5 launch day. That was great. We had the reading. I put out the special version of the live reading. A lot of fun to be had. I might do something different. Well, we're going to do the live show for the next issue, which is, 2 weeks away. 2 weeks away, we'll have we'll get the exciting conclusion to launch day to see what's going on that weird planet. Where Kelly and Ed are disguised as fish people, and they got some weird government going on, ran by Sir Ian McKellen. We'll see what's going on with that in the live reading in a couple weeks from now. But also, as far as the special live reading, I might do that separately, so I could put a little stank on it, put a little extra stank upon the voices and all that stuff, and really get nice and prepared instead of just releasing the live, re-releasing the live reading, because it's fun. I had fun doing all the different voices and sound effects and stuff like that. Great Dilberto says, hooray, I'm the greatest. Hostcast says, I really missed your shows, JP. Been really busy. I get it. I understand. I do multiple shows because I know people can't make it to every single one. So, have some options to grab one here, grab one there, show up, not show up. We all got lives to live. Yes, even during a pandemic, lives must be lived. Thanks, Dilberto. The time between seasons makes Rick and Morty's season look speedy. Yeah, and we would have been pretty close to watching season 3 already if the world didn't decide to end. They're 6 months behind because all productions were kicked out of their studios back in March. They're still waiting to get back into the studio, trying to figure out how they're going to do that. Basically, they're waiting on Fox to give the go ahead so that all the productions can safely return. Because what nobody wants and actually will make things take even longer is if they go back, somebody gets sick, gets everybody else sick, and then they have to stop again, and it takes even longer to come back again. So the longer it takes for them to go back into the studio, the sooner, safely go back into the studio, the sooner we'll get season 3. Because they still got about half of that baby to film and get put together. But I have a feeling we're going to be getting some news soon. San Diego, virtual San Diego Comic-Con was a little too soon to put out, exciting new promotional stuff for the Orville, because, it's all up in the air as to when they're going to be able to get back. And they don't even know, they can't even really come up with a time window as to when season 3 will start until they figure out when they can get back into the studio. And then once they get back into the studio, they can start figuring out the logistics of okay, when do we put out the trailer? Which I'm pretty sure they already have a trailer. When do we put out the trailer? When do we put out the promotional materials? We got to get everybody in here to take their promotional photographs so we can start putting together the season 3 poster and spreading that all over the place. So, the world we're living in right now has really messed things up, not just for the Orville, but for everything. Everything. And that leads me to Hulu. Hulu is my favorite. I've had Hulu for 7, 8, 9 years at this point. And, but because of the pandemic, there's nothing to watch that I'm interested in. There's plenty of stuff, lots of stuff out there for, if you like reality shows or, Zoom interviews and stuff like that. But as far as new TV, there's not really new TV. So, and that's what I really used Hulu for. So I'm thinking of maybe even possibly getting rid of Hulu until new television starts showing up. I mean, the shows that I like to watch on Hulu are a lot of NBC stuff, Superstore, The Good Place is gone, a lot, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but that stuff's been all put off till later. So I'm I'm not really watching TV right now. And I'm actually, because of the lockdown, I'm kind of getting sick of watching stuff. You can only watch so much stuff before you just start becoming numb to it. And there's some great stuff on right now. Raised by Wolves, other shows, kind of. Mandalorian's coming back in next month, and I'm really excited about that. But that's, over a month away. I'm loving Lower Decks, but I actually don't even need CBS All Access to watch that. The same will be true for Discovery when they come out. I'm not going to have CBS All Access, but, you watch it over at a friend's house. You at a friend's house virtually. You don't have to subscribe to every single streaming service out there, you guys. I'm almost to the point where I almost don't even need Netflix at this point. But, I'm just getting to that point where I don't watch TV. The last few weeks, I've watched maybe 2 things. I watched Action Park, and I watched Our Social Dilemma. 2 documentaries, basically. And otherwise, I just, the random comedy that I've seen a million times. And even that's rare. I've been reading. I've been, doing internet stuff, making thumbnails and working on editing some videos for Patricia Tallman and doing stuff like that. I'm at this point where I'm not going to seek out stuff to watch. I'm going to wait till the good stuff comes. So that's why I'm very excited for The Mandalorian, because I'm damn. But that's going to be 8, 10 episodes, maybe? Hey, Tom Casey, thanks for helping to keep the lights on here. Very much needed. YouTube isn't really a great place for paying bills as far as Egotastic FunTimes goes. That's why I am, CBS is dead. A lot of things are dead. We're going to actually talk about CBS. There's some Paramount announcement came out today about Paramount's focus, which even though I don't believe giant freaking robots claim that there's not going to be any more Star Trek movies. I still said it could still kind of possibly become true just because of, not because of the reasons Giant Freak Robot said, but because of the state of the world right now. So Paramount made some announcements today that we'll talk about as well. Howard Gleason, how you doing? Just stopped by to buy you a coffee and say your vid with Matt. Oh, your vid with Matt Weiss was epic. Something else. People love Star Wars. People love Star Wars. Yes, Howard. I did a crossover event video with Matt Weiss from Pranakasha Productions. Just go to Pranakasha Productions channel, and you'll see a Orville Star Trek universe crossover where I play a captain of the USS Egotastica that comes from the Orville universe, and we combine forces with the Star Trek universe to take down a threat. And it's just part one of an ongoing series that's going to have a few more episodes coming out. Yeah, YouTube is evil. Well, I'm always going to be doing YouTube every single week. Don't ever worry about that. We're going to be doing the live shows every week. I put out at least a video or two every single week. But I'm going to be focusing hard on the official Egopanions. I'm going to be putting out a ton of content. I've already started with the Patreon page. I revamped all of the Patreon tiers. It's all very egotastic. Every tier has its own official egotastic badge, title, benefits. Every tier, I'm going to be doing a monthly podcast, at least monthly, on Patreon. It's only available to patrons and official YouTube channel members. The higher the tier, the more you get. Cameo messages, autographs, stickers, a bunch of different types of benefits. The ability to pick, you get to choose what video I do next, like off the top of your head. Say, hey, JP, do this. Well, you're at this tier, you get that, so I'll make that video for you. And then there's right now it's open to everybody on the Patreon page. You can go on Patreon. It's available to anybody. You get to choose what car time video. You get a vote on what car time video that I'm doing this Friday, and it's gonna be a Star Trek car time video. I watch an episode of Star Trek that you guys choose, and I do a car time video about it this Friday. Right now, we're going between the series, Legacy Trek series, TOS, TNG, DS9, Voy, and Ent. So right now it's a tie. It's a dead heat. Well, I haven't checked in about an hour or so, but it's a dead heat between the original series, Deep Space Nine, and Enterprise. So once we declare the winner, which I'm going to do today, then I'm going to say, okay, shout out what episodes from which series you want, and then whichever one gets the most suggestions is the episode that I'm going to do, that I'm going to watch and do a review of this Friday in my car, because it's car time season. It's now fall, not the fall of the of the society, but fall. It's autumn. So, yeah, it's car time. We're going to be doing car time videos a lot over the next month or two. Star Trek Discovery, The Burn. I'm glad it's finally been clarified why in the alternate universe that Discovery went forward to. I think you can't go into the future without automatically ending up in an alternate universe, because just you leaving the timeline automatically makes it a different universe because you weren't there to live it out. I'm glad that Discovery, with their new trailer, they've let us know, there was a big catastrophic galactic event which wiped out the Federation and probably a lot of other Asians as well. But apparently there is some Federation there from what we're seeing. And we're there, and the Discovery crew is there to bring the Federation back into that alternate reality, and hopefully they never get home. I'm hoping they never get home, and I mean that in a good way, not a bad way. And I'm also hoping that season 3 of Discovery will give us the fall of Philippa Georgiou. I'm hoping that Philippa Georgiou, well, first I was hoping she just wouldn't be on the show. I can't stand the alternate universe character, the mirror universe character, and I'm just hoping that her old tendencies come back when she sees that this place, this new universe, this future is ripe for being taken over. And she can't help herself. She's going to try to take it over. I hope she turns. She was never good. hoping she turns. She tries to take advantage of the situation. We take her down. Oh, it's so sad because we thought she was on her team. Not really that sad. And then we could get rid of her. If she was good, Philippa Georgia, who I thought was amazing, who I thought was pretty great for 2 episodes, fine. We'll get good Georgia from the good universe. Mirror universe, get rid of her. She sucks and they don't know how to write her. Hey, Brian Dawkins says, check my PayPal. Thank you very much, Brian Dawkins. I don't know what to say. Brian Dawkins has just done a... oh my God, Brian Dawkins just did a contribution. You can buy JP a taco by clicking on the buy JP a taco, and you can put money into the money pool. Over $75 from Brian Dawkins. Thank you very much, helping to keep the rent paid, basically. Not just the lights, the walls that the lights are contained within. So thank you very much. Brian Dawkins, everybody. Huge supporter. Brian says, so we have been bummed around for 3 years. Let's celebrate. Get yourself an anniversary gift to commemorate this special occasion. Check your PayPal. All right, Brian, thank you very much. I'm going to treat myself to some rent. Thank you very much. Lube2 says, just let him head for the sunset like Shane. Do it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Discovery Season 3. But if they want to take 4 or 5 years before they come out with it, that's fine too. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm in no hurry. I'm looking forward to The Mandalorian. I'm looking forward to Season 3 of The Orville. I'm actually looking forward to the next episode of Lower Decks. Evil Georgiou is the worst character in the history of the franchise. Yeah, she would be okay if she was written correctly. She's written horribly. But I guess you could say that about any horrible character. They'd be okay if they were written right. There's a neat theory out there that says the Omega particle from Voyager caused the burn. I love it. I'd love it if they found a connection. I mean, it's still not really connected to me because I just know for a fact that the Voyager universe is in no way connected to the Discovery universe, but that doesn't mean stuff that happened in the legit Voyager timeline didn't also happen in the alternate Voyager timeline that is connected to Discovery. A lot of timelines out there. Thanks a lot, Star Trek. JP, idea for a video. Your and only yours idea for a Star Trek show. My idea for a Star Trek show is anthology series. I would like a Star Trek show that is set up much like a Twilight Zone, where it's a different story, a different part of the timeline, a different crew, a different adventure every single episode, self-contained. Because the importance of the series would be the adventures and the messaging, and the vision. To me, is ultimately the most important part of Star Trek, more so than any character, any captain, any crew, any ship. It's the vision is the most important part. So I would love an anthology series. It could even take place in different Star Trek universes. That'd be fine. Lord Thoth. Midnight's Edge After Dark. Hail, hail Midnight's Edge After Dark. Basically, after my bedtime. Midnight's Edge after JP's bedtime. Did you do a talk in the Orville for the first episode of the Orville? No, I didn't. It didn't take long. But no, I did my first video on September 27th, 2017. Which a couple days from now. And then I did a second video. And then people started watching the videos. And then we started up. But it wasn't officially a Talking the Orville. Well, I have to check. Maybe it was. Like the title. But it wasn't a live show yet. We didn't do a live show yet. But that is when I started talking the Orville. The talking part came pretty quickly into my mind. Saber Pro, all I want in the world right now is a high-budget Star Wars Old Republic TV show featuring Darth Malgus. We might get any of that. I think the future is television. It came out today. Paramount is reformatting. They're focusing on movies and miniseries. Not movies in the theater, televised movies, which I think is incredibly smart. And of course, they're rebranding CBS All Access to Paramount Plus, which is smart, but I don't know if it'll be successful. I still think the Star Trek TV shows are crazy expensive, so they're going to need a lot of money. But, just the fact that they merged with Paramount might get them that money. It's all about the money, you guys. But Paramount is now going forward with movies and miniseries and scripted stuff. They're getting rid of a lot of their unscripted shows on their different channels. And they're seeing, and I agree. I see the future as televised movies and miniseries. The things that I'm very excited about now are movies and miniseries. I can't wait for the Stand miniseries that's coming out, because there's so many shows. Who can keep track? There's so many shows. Who can keep track with full seasons of anything? There's too much stuff to watch. Even the fact that there isn't a lot to watch right now, there's still too much to watch. So, even though they replied with, "Oh no, Star Trek films we're still doing Star Trek films," I don't know if those films are going to have anything to do with the big screen. You got to fill a lot of seats you got to sell a lot of tickets to fund any movie, even just a medium movie, and those seats are not being filled, and who knows when those seats will be filled again. And even after a vaccine and after months of everyone has the vaccine, are people going to feel comfortable going out, a bunch of strangers, a bunch of weirdos who can't shut up during a movie? And I don't know if that's the case. So I think it's going to be a long time before big blockbuster movies are as are big money makers again. I don't know what that word is. LuTube says, I remember when JP got enough viewers to tell Kikos to bite him. I don't know if I said that right. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's spelled wrong. But yeah, they can bite me. Great Tilberto says, I'm really glad you started the weekly live shows for Talking to Orville. I can't talk this stuff with any of my other friends. Yeah, I get it. Nobody watches the stuff that I watch. Well, I also don't have any real life friends. We just talk about The Office because everybody's seen The Office. Actually, F the entire TV. Imagine a canon podcast with Picard lecturing Starfleet cadets about morality, life, future, etc. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. And you probably don't have to worry about all the CBS Star Trek, fan film rules. If you just did a podcast, people love podcasts. People are back into radio dramas again, which is insane. It's great, but whoever thought that listening to audio would be a big form of entertainment again? And we owe that to podcasts. So I bet you fans can start making some Star Trek podcasts and totally, be left alone. Too much to watch on YouTube. I have that problem. I have a big problem right now, you guys. I'm very distracted by social media and YouTube. I just watch, I'm doing my diet right now. And it's not even a diet. I'm doing, I started off a couple weeks ago doing intermittent fasting, dropped a bunch of weight. I got a lot more to go because I'm now on a path. I want to lose 100 pounds in 6 months or less. And I'm going to, on the Patreon page, sometimes on YouTube, but mostly on the Patreon page and access to official YouTube subscribers, I'm going to chronicle that journey and talk about it weekly, as well as other stuff going on with the Patreon page and the YouTube subscribers, or official channel members, I mean. I'm going to be going around town talking about where I live, my thoughts on everything that's going on, not just there'll be Star Trek and stuff too, and sci-fi, but just everything that's going on. We're going to go to special places in Tulsa, wherever I go, and we making stuff for the Patreons weekly, and the YouTube members, because I have it where I can give access to both. I just have to post twice. JP pew pew lasers, pew pew pew, pew pew pew. All right, I think we can forgive you for being late, Adam of Great Skull. JP, what you do about the Orville YouTube channel if you were in charge of it? I put something up on it, Steven. And I remember one of you guys mentioned something. Hey, tell Seth MacFarlane to put something up on the YouTube page. Thing is he doesn't even. That's a Fox. That page is a Fox property, and mostly, even when it was for Orville stuff, the whole Orville YouTube channel is just a promotion for Fox. That's all it is. They'll put up Orville stuff, but really it's just to get you to watch other Fox properties. I mean, every year, as soon as Orville is done, they just start putting up videos for other new Fox shows that are coming up. So it's not even really a legit Orville channel, and I don't even know if they're going to use that same channel. They probably will once season 3 shows up on Hulu, because I mean the show is still a Fox production, even though it's on Hulu, and Hulu's owned by Fox, which is owned by Disney, and Disney now owns Hulu. But it doesn't matter. Disney, Fox, Hulu, it's all the same thing. People are like, well, technically, Disney bought the. It's all the same thing. It all means the same thing. So they might do something with the YouTube channel, but they should put something up. I'm sure they got stuff they could put up, but it doesn't matter. I'll put it up if they don't. That's all there is to it. If they're not going to talk about the Orville, I'll talk about the Orville. We'll talk about the Orville. We're going to stand up for fandom, stand up for the show that we love, stand up, let them know we want more. We want it as soon as we can get it, but we're willing to wait so that we can get it at the quality that Seth MacFarlane wants it to be, because he wants to give us the best. He could just throw up some okay version of the Orville and we'd eat it up, but he wants to give us the best version of the show, and that's what they're doing. And unfortunately, because of world events, we just have to wait. Yeah, I haven't watched Raised by Wolves yet either. It's big time on my list. I keep hearing great things, and I see the thumbnails. I'm like, ooh, it's going to be Ridley Scott. He's kind of hit and miss for me, but he's usually hits. And I'm like, I got to check that out. But also, like I said, I'm just going through this thing right now where I don't know if it's because 6 months of lockdown where I'm like, I'm just so tired of watching things, of absorbing entertainment. I'm like, I need to take a break so that I can appreciate it. Especially with The Mandalorian coming up. I want to really appreciate it. I don't want to be numb to explosions and pew-pews and storylines. I want to be ripe and ready and rearing to go so that any little thing that happens just excites the hell out of me. Because it's so easy to get used to stuff, and the pew-pews don't explode in your heart like they used to, and I don't want that to happen to me. No, Hulu is it's not NBC. Hulu is Disney now. Before that, it was Fox. Now it's Disney. I mean, NBC has all their shows on there. Most of the channels do, except for CBS. CBS has some stuff on Hulu, but it's just old reruns of crap from 50 years ago, and from the 90s. But yeah, NBC is my favorite channel, and I haven't had television in over a decade, and I've watched every NBC show, thanks over the last decade, thanks to Hulu. Animal from Legion of Doom is dead. Also, the Road Warrior. Oh, wrestling right there. Yeah, Road Warrior died. Probably the same person, right? Great Dilberto, I'll keep waiting for the Orville. I don't really have a choice. Yeah, we don't, right? But we will in just 2 weeks be getting a new adventure for season 2.5. Launch day part 2. We'll get the exciting conclusion. I'm going to read it to you guys. And then in November, the beginning of November, we get a new Orville, brand new Orville story. It's a Tala story called Heroes. And that's also going to be a 2-parter. So we're going to learn a lot more about Tala starting in November. So what is your take on the fate of what's up, Moonshire? The fate of CBS All Access and the Drek. I mean Trek there. Yeah, Drek isn't a term that I've adopted. I just think it's CBS Trek universe, which started off rough. It keeps getting better. I don't know if it'll always be better. I think it'll always be kind of, a little bit of a thing there. A little bit of a going up, a little bit down, up, down, up. I think it makes complete sense. from the beginning, I said CBS is not going to make it. CBS All Access is not going to make it. They got incredibly expensive. They put all their eggs into one very expensive basket, and they did not make Trek correctly when they first started. They messed up a lot, and I'm like, man, they're not going to make it because this is too expensive. They pissed off a lot of people, and they're kind of overconfident in their own abilities in a genre that they don't understand yet. They've gotten a lot better. So I knew something wasn't going to work with CBS. Either they'd have to stop with the Star Trek and do less expensive shows, or they'd have to get very popular. But even if they got extremely popular, they're just in the United States. They need to go international. But international isn't going to work for CBS All Access because no one around the world knows what CBS is. CBS is a United States property. It's in North America, and so it's not going to have any name recognition or anything like that. So the fact that they're becoming Paramount Plus, and they're going to have a lot more content from all the different Paramount, not only the Paramount, decades of movies, but the different Paramount channels, MTV, Nickelodeon, probably good for the kids. Comedy Central, I think, will do very well, even though Comedy Central is basically free anyway. For the most part, you can get the Comedy Central app, and most of their new stuff is free. It's the old stuff that you have to subscribe for. I'm like, that's fine. I'll watch the new stuff. And so, yeah, I saw this coming a long time ago. I didn't know they'd become Paramount Plus. But even still, I think it's going to be an uphill battle for Paramount Plus. I think they'll do better than CBS All Access did by a lot, but Paramount Plus, who cares? Everybody is got so many damn streaming services on their bank accounts right now. Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, Apple TV, Disney Plus, this and that. Oh, but it's only $6. Yeah, they're all only $6 or $10. It adds up, and people know that. And things aren't going well in the world right now. People are struggling to pay rent. People are struggling to put food on the table, to pay their bills, to medical bills especially. Talk about a ripoff. It's going to be an uphill battle, so we'll have to see. But one thing that they do have going for them is something that all the streaming services have going for them right now. People are stuck at home. They're getting used to being stuck at home, which is going to be long-lasting, long after the pandemic. They're watching, they're sitting in their underwear watching all these things. Stuff is always coming out. The streaming services, for the most part, are coming out with better properties than the theaters are coming out with. Mandalorian, different Star Treks, if you like that stuff. All these incredible shows, Raised by Wolves. I love the comedies. I have very little desire to go to a movie theater when there's so much available of the same quality, if not better, right on one of the streaming services. One of the streaming services always has something that is not found anywhere else. So even Paramount Plus, I think, is going to have a hard time of it because it's so late in the game. So late in the game. But it'd be easy to be proven wrong. Maybe they come out and maybe they have a great promotional drive. Maybe people are excited for. Maybe they have something that people are like, oh my god, I got to see that. Like with Disney Plus, and the people are like, oh god, I got to see the Mandalorian, so I got to get Disney Plus. And the hope is with any of these streaming services, except for Peacock, because I thought I wanted Peacock. I really don't care about it after seeing it. The hope is you have that one exciting thing that people think they can't live without. They subscribe to the service, and the hope is that they forget that they subscribe to the service, and they just keep getting that monthly bill and don't even realize it. That's how a lot of these streaming services really make that money. They come out with that one thing you got to have. You sign up, and then you forget you signed up, and you're just paying them every single month. And then you're like, oh yeah, I can watch this, I can watch that. And you don't even think about the bill that you're getting because you just already worked it in. So that's what I think about CBS All Access becoming Paramount Plus. I think it's a good idea. It's the only idea that might be able to save them because their subscriber count isn't that great. They got 16.3 subscribers for CBS All Access. Disney Plus has almost 60 million. It's a big difference. And they're definitely going to get a lot more. They're going to get a lot more subscribers with Paramount Plus. Just CBS All Access sounds icky. It just sounds like icky. It's just like, I have no interest in subscribing to an entire paid streaming service named after a channel. I want a whole studio. I don't want a channel. That's like someone saying, okay, you have the cable package. You have your cable package that you've been paying for. We're going to take away CBS, but if you want CBS back, you got to give us $10. That's basically what an individual channel streaming service is to me. That's what the report said last week. 16.3 million subscribers. Now, of course, they have their distribution deals, Netflix, Amazon internationally, but that's not going to do it. You got to have direct subscribers. Going worldwide, they're going to have a lot more subscribers, especially changing their name to Paramount Plus. I'm rooting. I'm not rooting for any streaming service, but I'm rooting for Star Trek to do well, to get better, to win me over, which most of it has at this point. Not all of it. There's at least 1/3 of new Star Trek that has not won me over. But I'm always rooting for it to. And I do see improvements. CBS All Access killed the radio star. And actually, I don't think it did. Radio stars are coming back. Thanks to podcasts. Yeah, studio name makes it. Yeah. I mean, even studio name makes more sense because it's all about name brands. I mean, that's why every movie is a remake and a reboot. Not because they care about bringing back these stories to you. They care about being able to use the name so that you're like, oh, I recognize that name. I shall go see that movie. That's all it is. We have ourselves to blame for all the reboots and remakes. JP, would you consider someday doing at least an animated movie of Star Trek? Heck yeah. I mean, I would do a live action movie of Star Trek. I'd prefer an animated, though, because then I could play a bunch of characters. But yeah, as far as like, if I were to create a Star Trek series, I would want an anthology series. Yeah, Moonshine Pony. Lower Deck started off rough and cringe, but it's kind of cute here and there. There's still a lot of dead air in it, but if it just tweaked a little, it would work. Yeah, and that's all. And that's just a very. I mean, God, what am I trying to say with that? Like, I loved it from the beginning, but I get what you're saying. It doesn't appeal to everybody, but then it kind of wins people over. So they're like, okay, I'm kind of having fun with this. I liked it I laugh out loud at least twice in every episode since the first episode. But yeah, it's a very different type of thing. It's comedy, it's animated, it's a very different type of humor, even though it's the closest thing to original format legacy Star Trek CBS has ever done. The show is obsessed with Star Trek canon. It is not, and I've said this, Lower Decks is not Star Trek canon, but it is obsessed with Star Trek canon. And I don't need it to be either, but I love what it is. I love that it's a show that's like, let's make a legit Star Trek episode, but let's just talk about all the cool stuff we like about Star Trek. It's the super duper fan series. And I love that it's that. I love that it's not trying to be anything else. Jonathan R. I'm hopefully Good Trek will return one day. I just think Good Trek will be in the form of the Orville over the long run. I would have said that a couple of years ago. Now I don't even see the Orville as Star Trek homage anymore. I see it as its own individual universe. But I think there is still good Star Trek. It's just not all good. But also, I never needed new Star Trek. 15 years ago, I'm like, okay, there's probably not going to be any new Star Trek shows or movies. But that's okay because I have 40 or 50 years worth of shows and movies to always watch for the rest of my life. With new Star Trek, some of it I'm like, oh, I really like that. And other stuff I'm like, ugh, I don't like that at all. But at least now, personally, there's more new Star Trek that I enjoy as opposed to, a year and a half ago when there was only new Star Trek that I did not enjoy. Now I have some things that I enjoy. But I think it's just, and this is for anything really, any franchise. I no longer just assume I'm going to like something. I always say, okay, whatever you are, you have to prove, you have to win me over. And that's the case for everything. Picard, season 1, won me over. But season 2, I don't know. We're going to have to wait. I start over. I start over with every season, with not just new Star Trek, with everything now. Because there's too much stuff. There's just too much stuff. I don't want to be taken for granted just because I'm a geeky, nerdy fan of stuff. I'm like, you still gotta work for me. You gotta work for me. If you put in an effort, I'll notice. You might not even win me over, but the fact that you put in an effort goes a long way. Lewis says, hope the Orville season 3 comes out. I'm excited for it. Just the waiting. Let me tell you guys something. I don't know this for a fact. I've just done the math. I figured out what it takes to make a show like the Orville, or any type of show really, especially a sci-fi show, because they're always very expensive. I did all the math. It's going to be a long time. I did the math with the pandemic. They still haven't gotten back in the studio yet. Fox is hoping to have them back in the studio next month to start again, but you can't trust that because who knows what's going to happen between today and then. But I do know the hope is to get them back in a few weeks, next month. But even if they get back next month, it's going to be a long time. I'm expecting a year. It might be another year before we see the Orville. Hopefully less than that, but it's not going to be much less than that. That's not official. I'm speaking out of turn. I have not had a conversation about that, but I just did the math. We're probably a year out from season 3 of the Orville, thanks to COVID-19. Yeah, one thing about Lower Decks, the sky's the limit because it's animated. And one thing I do like about Lower Decks, take away the humor or whatever, take away, what it is as a show. I've liked every single episode, but some episodes I really loved. Other ones I'm like, okay, that was an okay episode. Even though it did have, every episode has had at least 1 or 2 moments where I at least go, ha! without thinking. It's episodic. And this was also great about original Star Trek, especially 90s, well, all legacy Star Trek. It's episodic. The characters are kind of serialized, but the adventures are episodic. So even if you have an episode that's not that great, maybe it's a stinker, maybe it's just okay, the next episode could be great, and it makes you forget about that previous episode, as opposed to having one story that, eventually you're just sick of the story, so every episode just kind of sucks, because it's always that one story. That's what the serialized stuff does. Episodic is a great way to forget the episodes that aren't as good. That's what, there's a lot of stinkers in Legacy Star Trek, but you forget about it because there's so many great episodes as well that make you forget about the episodes that were just so or silly or even breaks canon or is just dumb. Beverly falling in love with a stupid ghost, stuff like that. But the next episode is amazing, so you can kind of forget. Kind of hard to do with serialized. Yeah, that's probably another reason I love Lower Decks so much, is because I'm a hardcore comedy fan. I mean, I study it. I study comedy. Yeah, I bet you Q shows up in Lower Decks this season in the last episode. I mean, if I was going to do something as big as having Q show up, I would wait till the last episode to do it. But also, there's an argument to be made about, like, when you do something amazing earlier than that, just because that makes it so you have to challenge yourself to go bigger than that afterwards. The Good Place would do that. The thing that the studio wanted The Good Place to have the finale on, they said, oh, save that for the finale. They would do it in the 3rd episode. That way they could get it over with and really move on and do bigger and greater things. There's a challenge to themselves. No, I don't think I'm twitching tonight. I might, Corey. I was thinking about doing that. Like, I was thinking of maybe even just like playing. We've been meaning to get back to Days Gone for a while now. I played Last of Us 2 last week, and I'm like, people keep asking about Days Gone, so maybe we'll do some Days Gone. But then I'm like, I might still do that. We'll have to see, because after I'm done with this stream, I do need to go to the grocery store and get some protein for the week. And by protein, I mean meats. My new fasting protocol that I do every day requires protein, and I'm all out of protein. I ate the last of my chicken today, and right now I'm only eating one meal a day. I'm doing the OMAD diet. It's basically fasting, but I just eat one meal a day, and you got to have some protein in that meal, or else you're gonna not have enough calories and enough nutrients. Tom Casey helping to keep the rent paid here. What guest stars of stars, maybe Star Trek, would you want to show up in Lower Decks besides Q? Okay. Which guests? Okay, we're in 2380, which is 19 years before the events of Star Trek Picard. I want Patrick Stewart to show up. Patrick Stewart is an admiral in this part of the timeline. He is part of Starfleet. He's out there having admiral adventures. And I think this year is right before we start with the Romulan rescue mission. So none of that jazz is going on either. Picard is, hell, he might even still be a captain for a few months in that year. I don't know what year Picard became admiral, but I don't know if he got upgraded to admiral for the rescue mission or if he was an admiral before then. But he's out there. He has a ship. The Enterprise is out there. Worf is out there. Data's not out there. Maybe Riker shows up as captain of the Titan. The TNG crew is out there doing their work. So let's get him aboard, especially since Lower Decks is so obsessed with the Next Generation, which I'm so glad they are. I'm so glad it's basically, I consider Lower Decks the Next Generation, the animated series. TNG TAS. No, not Pulaski. Pulaski! Geloja JP, sadly, I'm in the first aid training this morning and will miss this session. I'm glad you were able to come in, Lawrence. At least for a little bit, to say hello. It's always nice to say, hey, what's up, Geloja? Yeah, we never finished. We played a lot of Days Gone last year. We never finished. I got to that big dumpster fire, that big garbage dump of zombies, and it was just so hard. I pretty much gave up the whole game. Michael Burnham, who gets crucified on the outside of the outer hole. Yeah, I'm interested to see what's up with Michael Burnham. I'm interested to see what's up with everybody in season 3. I want to see what improvements they've made, because they know a lot of the things they did wrong. So I want to see how they changed the format of the show. I already knew since last season. Once they said, "Oh, they're going 1,000 years in the future," I'm like, brilliant. That's exactly what you should do if you want to continue the series. Get them out of this part of the timeline, even though it's an alternate universe. A lot of people just still can't wrap their minds around, oh, that's the year that, Pike and Kirk is nearby, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, it's a different universe, so they're not actually really there. But yeah, get the hell out of that year. Get 1,000 years in the future where nobody knows anything about Star Trek, even though they still claim, oh, that wouldn't happen. You don't know. It's 1,000 years in the future. You don't know anything about it. And, tell a story in the future. And I think they came up with a great story where now it's going to be up to Discovery, even though they knew nothing about it in the first 2 seasons. It's up to them to bring hope to the galaxy, which is a worthy cause, but also much needed for the show. So the show is kind of forcing the crew to be a symbol of light and hope, which is what they should have done since the first episode. But hey, better late than never, I guess. But we'll have to see. I'm very interested in seeing it. I'm looking forward to it, just not in the same way I'm looking forward to other Star Treks and other nerdy things. Okay. I just saw the name. I don't see the comment, but I saw the name. Okay, right there. Okay, Archmage Frey says Pulaski, Neelix, Wesley, the woman who spilled coffee on Picard, and Porthos, and all the starts of Lower Decks season 2. Well, if we get Porthos, it's going to be Porthos Junior, 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 Junior. Wesley should be in service in 2380. So, there's a lot of rumors like, oh, Wesley's going to show up in Picard season 2 or something like that. I'm like, I don't know if I want to see that. But if you have him voice Wesley in Lower Decks, I think that also be way more fitting, appropriate for Wheaton, for Will Wheaton. But also, I'd be able to handle it better. I don't know if Will Wheaton, who looks the same to me, just with a beard, except for he looks even more dorky and geeky now, which I love him for. I don't know if I can buy him in a Starfleet uniform anymore. I don't know if it'd work. It'd be too jarring, I think. Tom Casey says, first thing I like Discovery, but I agree, JP, it should be out of the timeline, far, far away. I think it's the smartest thing. As soon as they announced that, I'm like, oh, I knew the benefits of that immediately. I'm like, get them out of that part of the timeline so they can do their own thing without all the baggage that comes with being a new Star Trek in that part of the timeline, even though it's an alternate universe. So right away I saw the benefits of it, but we'll see if it pays off. I don't know. But I do know when I saw the Season 3 trailer for Discovery, I was like, boom, that should have been the first season. Though, I'm glad it wasn't, because they would have ruined it. 3 years ago, whatever, they could have come up with the best storyline ever. CBS was not ready to make a good Star Trek. So even if they came up with this storyline, in the first season, they would have ruined it. They would have ruined it. I mean, this season might not be great either, but I'm pretty sure it'll be a lot better than whatever they would have come up with in, 3 years ago. Wesley Crusher should show up on Lower Decks, and at the end of the episode, the captain of the ship can say, "Shut up, Wesley." They don't even have to have Wesley show up. Just have somebody say, "Shut up, Wesley." I mean, I'm still getting over the fact that they said, oh, he's like Captain Kirk Sunday with Trip Tucker sprinkles. I mean, that's probably the best line. There's some great lines, Star Trek joke lines in Lower Decks, but that might be the best one. Guinan as the new bartender in Lower Decks, at least for one episode. Absolutely. Let's have Guinan. You can have some of these characters show up as a promotion for Season 2 of Picard. Kobo Bunny, what's going on? Long time no see, JP. Nice to see you streaming. What series have you been following for new content on your channel? Nothing, really. I mean, I watch the Star Trek stuff. I do reviews. Well, I've done a bunch of random reviews in the last month or two. Just not really a big hit. I even do Lower Decks. People really enjoy, the reviews, Lower Decks or whatever. But it doesn't bring in anybody. So I'm like, I'm going to personalize stuff. I'm going to do stuff for the hardcore ego pay. I'll still do stuff every week on YouTube for everybody. But I'm not going to worry too much about having to find that next thing. I'm just going to talk about stuff I enjoy. Because even when I talk about specific stuff, Star Trek, whatever, YouTube's not really showing it to people. It's not YouTube's fault. It's the algorithm. It's me. You can't blame any. A lot of people like to blame, oh, YouTube did this, YouTube that. No, it's always you. It's always you. You're not doing something. And I'm like, well, instead of trying to figure out all this, whatever I'm not doing, I'll just put out stuff, but I'm going to concentrate on community. Live shows, card time reviews. If I review Star Trek, I might not even review every episode. I haven't reviewed every episode of Lower Decks because, I'm like, that was a great episode. I just don't really feel about doing a whole video about it. I could just go live and we can have a conversation about it. So I've been doing more stuff like that because I'm revamping everything to be more community based. So, the Patreon channel, the Facebook page here as well. Twitch every week. We do Twitch at least twice a week, Thursdays and Fridays. Tomorrow I'll be doing, a big old live stream on Egotastic FunTime Twitch. Fridays, every Friday till the end of time on Egotastic FunTime Twitch is the Friday watch party. Right now we are watching the latest episode, the same day they come out, the latest episodes of The Boys Season 2. There's only about 3 more episodes left, and then we're going to switch over to something else on Fridays. Everyone is telling Picard to shut up in the Picard, so that fits. Let's see, I think he had at least 2 people told him to shut up, I think. Though he's given it to some people himself in season 1. Matt Presley, I'm rewatching Seth Trek with my wife and she's loving it. Just finished Identity Part 1 and Part 2. Got her hooked. Oh yeah, those 2 episodes will do it. That's another thing. I'm also going to be, for this YouTube channel, I'm going to be going back a little bit more to concentrating more on the Orville. So, yeah, this channel is going to be a little bit going back to being a little bit more Orville-centric. Roz says, "Hey, JP, how is fake JP?" Well, it's fake JP is... I pushed fake JP away. I decided I needed to get away. Unhealthy. It was unhealthy, so I'm like, So, there is no fake JP right now. It's just JP. Archmage Frey, will you do a Boys Full Day rewatch on Saturday after it ends? Maybe, Archmage. When does it end? Well, it's not Halloween yet, because we're going to be doing a big Twitch Halloween event. That's that next month, so I probably won't do The Boys Season 2 all-day watch party next month. We might do it, October or something like that. But, November or something like that. But the big stream that I'm doing next month is the holiday stream. The Halloween stream, I should say. We're going to watch some scary movies. We're going to play some scary video games. We're just going to chat. We're just going to have a big Halloween event. If you want to make sure that you take part in all these events we do every single week with Egotastic FunTime, click the Twitch link below. Take you right there. Follow so that you get notifications. And also, if you want to help support the channel and get all the extra content that I'm going to be putting out, as long as people care to watch it, or to listen to it, or to download it, don't forget to follow on Patreon. I revamped the entire Patreon page. I got different tiers with different benefits, different personal badges, different things that you get for the different tiers, as well as I'm going to be putting out. I'm going to be doing a live show every single month on Patreon, just for the patrons. I'm going to be doing at least once a month Egotastic FunTime podcast, just for the patrons to download and listen to, and a bunch of other cool personal stuff, tours, my setup, conversations, my weight loss, chronicling my weight loss, as well as going around town and doing a bunch of stuff. And discounts on merch. Egoween. 3 episodes to go of The Boys. I was hoping we'd get 10 episodes this season, but season 1 did 8 episodes. That was it was great. The season did well. I just love the show so much. I could always go for more, but 8. The less episodes these shows do now, the better, because these shows are movies. The Boys is a movie. Picard's a movie. Discovery's a movie. They're that expensive. They take that many people, and it's even more expensive than a movie because you're doing a lot more footage than a movie does. So 8 episodes is good. Also, things that are episodic, I don't want them going on too long. 8 to 10 episodes is great. I loved Picard, but man, if they did one more episode, I'm like, that's too much. That's too damn much. Episodic shows I can go on forever, but serialized shows, I'm like, get the damn story over with. You have me for a certain amount of time. Eventually, I'm going to get sick of whatever story you're trying to tell over these episodes. So, yeah, when it comes to serialized, less episodes, the better. Leave them wanting more. The Great Okuna. You guys, I follow Okuna on Twitter. Good page. I still want a Harry Mudd character to show up somewhere. Can't do it. Harry Mudd could totally be referenced in Lower Decks. You can do a holodeck thing with him. Who knows what Q can do, but I bet you when Q shows up, it's going to be really quick. Really quick. I don't think Q is going to be more than like a cutaway, like a Family Guy cutaway joke. Yeah, Harry. JP will be another season of Black Mirror. I was under the impression that we're not getting any more Black Mirror. I think that's silly. Black Mirror is good enough to keep going. Hostcat says, JP, thanks for the positive messages you have been putting out over the years. For the most part, I've had my lapses of getting sucked into the toxicity. Luckily, I was able to fight it off and regain my own personal thoughts as opposed to be part of a Hive Mind collective. I'm getting better at it. It's something we're all capable of falling into. Going to college soon for writing and learning how to use a computer. Hope we can do a project someday. Oh yeah, let me know. Let me know. Keep me apprised of your progress. Saber Pro. A lot of good shows are 45 minutes, and most shows are 20 minutes. So I like to think about 45-ish shows are like twice the episodes. Yeah, comedies are 20 minutes, 22 minutes, and dramas are usually 45, 48, sometimes 52 minutes. But usually on television, it's about 45 minutes or so. The Orville season 3, all the episodes are at least an hour. An hour, 60 minutes or more. Most of the all the episodes are at least 60 minutes, but some of them are running over that. We don't know the end of Harry Mudd. Maybe there's a Harry Mudd robot, you guys. He was all. Maybe he is the. Maybe they have a Harry Mudd synthetic out there. He could have been lost in time or put in suspended animation. That's true. They kind of did that with Scotty in TNG when he was stuck in that transporter phase thing. Yeah, we're living Black Mirror. That's another thing right now, you guys. The world sucks. We're living Black Mirror, as Matt says. People don't want their entertainment to reflect the crappy world they live in. We absorb entertainment to forget about the world that we live in, to forget about our problems for a little bit. It's just much like World War II. When we had World War II, all of the movies became happy-go-lucky musicals. All of them almost. And because people want an escape. It's really hard to escape a dystopian world by going into a dystopian world and watching that. So we're going to see a lot more comedy. We're going to see a lot more lightheartedness. And that goes for even the hardcore stuff. Mandalorian's very lighthearted. Picard had a lot of lightheartedness moments in it. Of course, Lower Decks is all comedy. You know there's going to be some lightheartedness going on and hope in Strange New Worlds. And they're going to be trying that from the trailer. They're going to be trying to have some lighthearted moments as well as, a bunch of hope and, things to aspire to be in Season 3 of Discovery. We'll see how it goes. I know a lot of people aren't going to be able to see any goodness in it because they're unable to anymore. They've shut the doors to have an objective opinion on nerddom. But some of us can actually have, see what's wrong, but also see what's good. So we're going to see what's going on with that. Pranakasha Productions just did us $3 super chat. You guys, if you want to see me in an Orville uniform captaining my own Planetary Union ship, go to Pranakasha Productions and check it out. A bridge over a troubled planet. You'll see me in there. You'll see Matt in there. Yeah, there's always money in escapism. So yeah, that Hollywood's going to have to really rethink some of the stuff they're putting out because people aren't going to want to escape into dark and dreary for a while. We just got to look at the news, step outside if we want that. I went and saw Tenet in the theater a week or so ago. And even though there was, they can only sell so many tickets because you can't have too many people in the theater, there was like 4 people in that theater. And and I love the movie, but I was like, this isn't making me feel good. I just came in from a world that doesn't make me feel good, and this isn't making me feel good. So there was no escapism there, even though I really enjoyed the movie. Yeah, optimistic sci-fi is coming back. There is no doubt. There is no doubt that optimistic sci-fi is coming back because it's a requirement right now. Seth MacFarlane, he saw the whole he saw 3 years ago, or a couple, more than that, because it took a while to develop the show. But he saw that there was nobody making optimistic sci-fi anymore. Everything was pretty dystopian. Even though I enjoy dystopian stuff, there was no optimistic sci-fi. He missed the days where there'd be, a ship aspiring to be better and to help people, this and that. So he made the Orville, and he was right to do so. People flocked to it, and I think more and more we're seeing either comedy sci-fi or a little bit of hopeful sci-fi coming back. As long as we don't get musical sci-fi. I don't know if I'm ready for that, you guys. Yeah, they had the World War II newsreels, and then they gave you the news. Oh, here's all the horrible things happening in the world right now. But here's a song to make you feel better. They kind of owed audiences a happy movie once they broke all the world news to them, right? Yeah, so I'm expecting a lot more comedies to come out and optimistic sci-fi. The only problem right now, though, is you can't make anything expensive right now. You can't make anything with a lot of people in it. So you got to find other ways to do stuff. So we're gonna have to wait a while because you just can't get productions together. What's up, Alicia? How you doing? Yeah, they film a lot in British Columbia. That's where Discovery's in Canada. A lot of things are in Canada. Now, of course, Picard is in Southern California. Some things are in Atlanta. Some shows, musicals work for some shows. Or all of a sudden they have a random musical episode. It was great in, wasn't Buffy one of the first shows to do that? It was great. I've heard of CBS. Yeah, the record label is fairly well known outside the U.S. Yeah, Sinatra did some CBS records, didn't he? Musical Xena, yeah. Yeah, Discovery's in Canada. A lot of stuff is in Canada. But Discovery, I think, is I bet you Strange New Worlds will be filmed in Canada. Once More with Feeling. Okay, yeah, that's the name of the episode. I'm kind of in the mood to escape into Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Not in a dirty way, you perverts. I was thinking about that today. I just saw a Buffy meme, and I was like, man, I want to watch Buffy. It's been forever. It's been years and years and years. Oh, going back, okay, before I forget. Okay, right now on Patreon, it's available to everybody. If you go on my Patreon page, there's a link below. There's a post right there. You guys, and I'm going to pick it today. I have the 5 legacy Star Trek shows. Whichever one gets the most vote is where I'm going to pick an episode from to do a Car Time review this Friday. But today, after we find out exactly what series it's going to be, you got to check. I think right now it's a 3-way tie between the original series, Deep Space Nine, which I'm not that familiar with, even though I've seen the whole thing, and Enterprise. It's a dead heat, so we got to figure out. We got to get enough votes so one of those can win. And then once we figure out what show I'm going to review, you guys are going to pick which episode I should watch and review this Friday in a Card Time video. So be sure to go there, vote, so I can figure out what series we're going to do, and then I'm going to ask you guys, okay, tell me the episodes that you all want, and the one that gets recommended the most will be the episode that I watch and do a review of on Friday. Yeah, I remember that Scrubs. I remember the advertising for that musical Scrubs episode. What's up, Minkin? Do it, JP. Do it. I would watch you watch-alongs. I also started doing live shows on the Egotastic FunTime Facebook fan page, you guys. So if you follow that, keep your eyes peeled for when I do those live shows over there. I still think P-Hub Premium is the only streaming service to truly resurrect Star Trek. We need to probe the deeper reaches of space. I'm a member of P-Hub Plus. No commercials. Yeah, Supergirl, I read that, well, I saw a thumbnail today. That's what most of us do, is we read thumbnails, right? Because a lot of times the thumbnails are like, okay, I don't need to know anything else. The thumbnail told me. Yeah, I saw a thumbnail that Supergirl is going to be canceled after season 6. I haven't paid attention to Supergirl in a couple years. I like Supergirl, but I usually only pay attention to her for the crossover events. But right now, I'm not interested in any of the CW superhero shows anymore. I even lost interest in The Flash. And I don't know if that's because I love Supergirl not Supergirl. I love Stargirl so much, and I love, even though it's not CW technically, it's now HBO Max, but both shows came from DC Universe, which is also basically being canceled. Doom Patrol, which I really loved. I'm like, Stargirl was so elevated compared to the CW shows, and I love the CW shows. And Doom Patrol, whoa, that's crazy elevated. I'm like, okay, this is what I like. This is so much better than most superhero TV shows right now, that I had a hard time going back to CW, even though I love CW. Brian says, I'm sticking with PayPal because I get a better rate. Absolutely. PayPal is the best way to support any channel, but especially Egotastic FunTime. So for all of you that do contribute to the PayPal Egotastic Taco Fund, thank you very much. That is very kind, and it helps out a lot. Thank you very much. I'm hoping they bring the cast into future Stargate series. There is a new Stargate series being produced in production right now, you guys. It's in the early stages, but it is moving forward. It was officially announced, I think, last week by the producer. New Stargate series is on its way. It's in the early stages, but it's coming. Matt Presley, thank you for so much dropping a super chat right now, just because you deserve it. Oh, thank you, Matt Presley. That's some taco money right there. Egotastic tacos. Dr. Scott Giles, how you doing? Hulu, Netflix, Amazon Prime, Acorn, pretty much covered. A couple others are happy. Yeah, I have Amazon Prime. The Boys are out, great. But, man, what do? I really have a hard time finding stuff on Amazon Prime. There's a lot of stuff there, but I'm just not interested. But their new shows, when they come out with like The Boys or The Tick or something like that, it's so great. But otherwise, I very rarely watch it. Netflix, I mostly use just for reruns of The Office or Parks and Recreation, with the occasional new thing that comes out real quick and I watch it. Like I watched all of High Score, the video game documentary, which was great, but also barely scratched the surface of all the things they could talk about. I watched, HBO Max. I got through the Doom Patrol. Harley Quinn show's great. I watched the Random Movie. Otherwise, I'm not really using that either. I watched Action Park on HBO Max last night. That was great, but big whoop. Hour and a half. Is that worth $15 a month? And Hulu, I'm not watching at all because I'm not interested in TV right now, because TV doesn't have anything coming out. Everything that I want to watch is, 1 month, 2 months of Disney Plus is worth watching. 1 month of CBS All Access is worth watching. I'm to the point where I kind of just want to cancel everything and then reassess. Okay, I canceled everything. Now let's go over and see who has what. Oh, Disney Plus has got The Mandalorian coming up. All right, so I'm going to subscribe to Disney Plus, and then once The Mandalorian's done, cancel it. Okay, what else is out there? Okay, let's get a month of this. Cancel that. Let's get a month of this. We're kind of to that point. We wanted to cut the cord a long time ago because we're being ripped off. And we're still being ripped off for those of you who haven't. But man, was it worth it? Everything went to streaming services, and there's a lot of amazing stuff on streaming services. But we didn't know there was going to be 50 different streaming services, and we didn't know they were all going to cost this much. Baby Yoda fits in a blender. You keep Baby Yoda out of the blender. Leave Baby Yoda alone. I love him so much. Oh yeah, I canceled Disney Plus forever ago, but I'm gonna resubscribe next month because Mandalorian. But yeah, I canceled Disney Plus Jeez. I don't even know what, well, I don't know what date it is because it's a pandemic, but many months ago, at least 6 or 7 months ago. And, but yeah, I'll be resubscribing for a couple, at least October, November. Mandalorian. I'm not missing Mandalorian. I love that damn show. I don't need to subscribe to CBS All Access. I'll have that anyway. But I will be subscribing to CBS All Access in December because they're doing the Stand miniseries. I'm all about it. I am all about it. I will, even if I could get it for free, I will give CBS my money to reward them for coming out with something that I'm interested in seeing. It'll be like a month or two. It's just a miniseries. I'll cancel the hell out of it. I think Patrick Stewart mentioned that he wants a Star Trek, Star Wars crossover. Yeah, at this point, why not? At this point, why not? He's like, let's do whatever, as long as the script is good. Brian Dawkins says, Taco Town has hard tacos. I don't want them. Yeah, they do. They advertise the crunchy tacos. I believe they are just getting by. Can you make them your official taco? No. I won't touch a crunchy taco. That's not a legit taco. Taco Bell, sure. But that's also not a legit taco. I will not. Maybe I'll order. Okay, for you, Brian, I'll order one crunchy taco, and then I'll record what it's about for you. But otherwise, I will only get regular street tacos. But because of you being a big supporter, the biggest supporter, Brian, I definitely will go get a crunchy taco and I'll record it and I'll put it up for you. Okay, I know what you mean. Apparently the Amazon Prime website works best with Google Chrome. That's the case for most things. I always preferred Firefox. I switched to Google Chrome a few years ago. I always preferred Firefox, but I just got to the point where so many websites, or not even just websites, but extensions just didn't work with Firefox anymore. What say you regarding Pedro Pascal? Now, I don't know the official. I know that Pedro wanted his face shown more in season 2 of the Mandalorian. I don't know. Did he walk? Is he gone? Did they replace him? Because he'd be so easily replaceable. I love Pedro. I love the work he's done. But his voice is so easily replicatable on the Mandalorian because it's so mandatory. Just don't take his helmet off. And you get over that because he only does a third of the Mandalorian work. All the rest of the work is the 2 other guys that are the stand-ins. And but he knew when he signed up that he's supposed to wear a helmet the whole time. And I know for a fact that they would show his face a couple times in season 2 if he'd just be quiet. So I don't know. Is he gone, or is it just a story about him hoping and it didn't work out, or I don't know. But I know that he's not needed. I like him a lot, but that particular role, he is not absolutely needed. They can put anybody in that suit. It'd be no problem. Oh yeah, Mark Hamill and Patrick Stewart have their new Uber Eats commercial. If you guys haven't seen it, it's pretty funny. Tomato. Check it out. Yeah, happy Wednesday, Mark. And all you freaks. Great Alberto. If I find a plugin or website that doesn't work well with Firefox, I just use different plugins or websites. Yeah, I remember there was like one thing I specifically needed, hardcore needed. I think it probably had to do with content creation, that I was having so much problems with Firefox that I just switched to Google. Plus, I do all the YouTube stuff. Google owns YouTube, so Google Chrome is kind of optimized for YouTube stuff. What's up, Eccleston? J to the P. What's up, my homie? Eccleston, I think I'm going to be on one of the Axonar live shows this week. Alec wanted me on last night, but I wasn't available. So we're going to try it out some other day this week. Lots of people who want to make it say they never would have thought they would be in their position. What would you do in a future with JP Plus or Egotastic FunTime Plus? Well, we already have Egotastic FunTime Plus. It's the Patreon page. That is Egotastic FunTime Plus. That's where you get all the content. Well, it's coming. It's coming this week. And be ongoing. The YouTube channel is going to be the basic plan. If you want to upgrade to the Plus plan, you could always be a YouTube channel member because I'm going to be sending all that content to them as well. But Patreon will be the place where all the discussions are going on. All of the stuff is easier to find on Patreon, on Egotastic Plus. I should change the name. You guys, Anobius, that's a great idea. I should change my YouTube page. Now, I should change my Patreon page to Egotastic Plus. Oh, very good idea that you didn't have, but you kind of did. You inspired me to come up with that idea. And you kind of had that idea as well, because you got it right there. Egotastic FunTime Plus. And I can do all the signage to make it look like a streaming service. Oh, that'd be fun. Happy birthday, JP, says Michael. Yeah, this is the 3rd anniversary of Talking the Orville. Ooh, baby, EFT Plus. Yeah, if you want to be a member, if you want to sign up for Egotastic Plus, we got different subscription levels with different premium service benefits. Just go to the Patreon link and sign up for one of them. I also have a one-time donation level as well. It says sold out, but it's not really sold out. You just click on the link on there and you can do a one-time donation. Because I know not everybody, just like a streaming service, not everybody wants to sign up for a monthly. Also, they do have, just like a streaming service, I do have, you can sign up for an entire year and you save 15%. Wow, it is a streaming service. I didn't even put all that together. That's hilarious. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that tonight. Well, you were right. Today is the birthday. This week's the birthday of Talking the Orville. 3 years. We're 3 years old. Want to go down the hole? Yes, I think Egotastic. Yeah, once I redesigned or reformatted all the tiers this week, I've already had a couple more patrons show up this week, and a couple of you have upgraded because of the new benefits. The higher the tier, the more you get. I don't know, Great Dilberto. I don't know if the 15% discount comes out of my cut. I don't know. I have no idea. I didn't even think about it. But I do get it all at once, so maybe it's worth it. But I don't know. Whatever you guys want to do or not do. There's no requirement to sign up for Egotastic Plus. There is the free version right here on YouTube. Yeah, hoping to 3 years and more of the Orville. Now, hopefully we don't have to wait 3 years for the next Orville. Who knows what the state of the world's going to be. Yeah, interviews, comics. I do see when I go on YouTube more Orville stuff starting to pop up, which is a very good sign. Because Orville hasn't been very, it's been gone for a while. So there's not a lot of interest being generated in general audiences about the Orville. But I'm starting to see Orville stuff pop up. That means it's getting time. People are starting to get interested again. It's, very cyclical. It goes up, once a year, and then it goes down and goes up. But it's been a long wait because of, all the things that we're dealing with right now. But eventually, Orville news is going to start coming out really soon. They're going to be getting back in the studio hopefully next month. A trailer is going to come out sooner than later, hopefully next month as well, to coincide with the New York Comic Con. That's still going on, virtually, but still going on. And, more and more stuff. I'm hoping they get back to the studio just to get these people back to work. You got to remember the production, the actors. Well, yeah, the actors, all that stuff. They're not making money. They got laid off back in March. Fox was nice enough to pay everybody up to April, but otherwise they're all out of work and they got bills to pay too, and their money's not coming in. So I'm hoping they go back to the studio just to have just to get that money coming back into their families and their rents and all that stuff, because I know how it is. Hey Joy, how you doing? Did you ever interview David Cabeza, JP? He is awesome. I chat to David a lot. David Cabeza, of course, being the artist who drew all of the Orville comics, and he's a very sweet guy. I've chatted with him a bunch, but he's not. He did an interview once, but he says he doesn't really like to do interviews because his English, he's really not comfortable speaking English. He's very self-conscious about his accent and hearing. He's really great with text and reading and writing English, but yeah, he says he's really not comfortable with even with the video that he did that live video. He recorded a video for me a couple of weeks ago for the live reading of the Orville comic, and he says he did it like 100 times. He's like, he was like, I was so self-conscious about it. He recorded it like 100 times. And I get it. But yeah, we still chat all the time. Rewatching the first 2 seasons on Hulu right now. I love this show. Yeah, the Orville's great. I always watch the Orville on Hulu, but I don't require Hulu to watch it because I purchased. I'm never going to get rid of Amazon because I have, the shipping and all that stuff. So I'll always have Amazon no matter what, for all the other benefits. But I purchased both seasons of the Orville like a year or so ago on Amazon, so I always have access to it. I know Eccleston's been here a long time, almost since the beginning. Eccleston's Angel's been with the Egotastic FunTime Legacy Squad founder. So I get Egotastic FunTime Plus for a month, get everything I want, and then cancel it, just like a streaming service. You can. Other people do. Some people will get a high tier, one of the higher tiers for a month, get those benefits, and then they'll downgrade, and then they'll upgrade, or then they'll cancel, and then they'll come back. All the options are there, just like a streaming service. Yeah, EFT Plus, up your stuff. That'd be funny if I rebranded this entire channel as Egotastic FunTime Plus and made everything I did kind of like a streaming service. I don't know how I would do that, but I just love the idea so much. Anobius, you're my muse. I have a solution. The Orville is basically all on set. They rarely film on the road. So why not put everyone in quarantine at a private lot near set? No one in or out until filming is done. Oh, that's because they have a rotating crew of 300 people. That show has so many people on that set. I was talking with Tom Constantino. He says, yeah, we have like 300 rotating crew. Well, we got 200 rotating crew and then another 100 that are there that are vendors. So yeah, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people working on that show at one time. So yeah, there's no setting them apart by themselves, because just them alone is a lot of people. Pranakasha Productions, EFT, up your stuff. $5 super chat helping to keep the rent on here at Egotastic FunTime. Thank you very, very much. Egotastic up yours. That's what I should call it. EFT Max. Oh, I'm loving this idea as a branding. You guys, I'm loving this streaming service thing as a branding thing for Egotastic FunTime. What if I rebranded all my signage to kind of make it look like a streaming service? Ooh, isn't that fun? The Great Delberto, I just realized I'm in between 2 of your current tiers on Patreon. Oh yeah, some of the tiers, it's not any of the tiers that you get the super special stuff, so you don't have to worry about that. You'll get everything that's around that tier level, so don't worry. But I did hide some of the tiers because I didn't want to have a whole bunch of tiers on there. Tiers in heaven. So I just there's a bunch of tiers, but I only have it so that 6 of the tiers are shown, because I'm like, this is getting to look ridiculous. I don't want to confuse people. But yeah, your tier is, you'll get access to whatever the nearby tier is getting. Because there's some benefits that will be given to the hidden tiers that the lower tiers don't even know about. Close, Michael. JP stands for Justin Poole. That's my government name. Jaloja Plus. Oh man, now I want to rename all the tiers. EFT Max, Jaloja Plus. But no, I came up with a bunch of tiers already. I got the Pew Pew Explosion Brigade. I got the Berserkers. I got the Captains of the Ego Fleet. I got the Egotastic Ultra Elite Admiralty. And it's all about it's all about joining the fight to stand for fandom. Ego XT. Ego Hub? How about Ego Hub? POOL. 4-letter word. Yep. Because you could have come up with a bunch of other names, Michael, for the J. Jason, Jehovah, Jebediah, Jujubine, Julius Prius, Julian Assange, Golden Jaloja. Brian says, so I went to try Patreon again. It is the old problem. They know me, but won't send me emails, so screw it. Did you ever check your junk mail, Brian? I get, like, Patricia Tallman sends me emails to try out stuff, because, you know, we're figuring out different websites and stuff. She's like, okay, I'll send you a test email. And I never get it, and then I always like, oh yeah, let me check my junk mail, and boom, there it is. There are 2 Zoom call tiers, Curtis. Now the range of tiers start at like $5, though I do have a one-time donation tier, which is $0. You just donate whatever you want. $5 all the way up to $100. There's like 6 different tiers, all with different stuff, and then every tier gets everything the previous tier gets. The $50 tier is the private group Zoom call per month, where everybody in that tier gets on Zoom with me and we have a private, like, 1-hour conversation. But for those of you who want the 1-hour private, just one-on-one Zoom conversation to talk about whatever you want to talk about, or advice, or just nerd out, or whatever, have a drink, celebrate, that's the $100 tier, but also comes with a bunch of other stuff. But the $50 tier comes with a free cameo, autograph sticker, autograph 8x10, and then all the other stuff from the previous tiers, which is a bunch of different things. And I think there's something else on there. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on with the Patreon, and I keep figuring out new things I can do, so I keep adding more benefits. Jack Power. What's your opinion on streaming services? Do you think we're Eccleston, we are crazy oversaturated with streaming services. Quibi? Who cares about Quibi? CBS All Access, Peacock, and I understand, and I'm all for every one of these companies trying to get out there and give themselves a shot to gain an audience. It's not their fault. It's not their fault. All these playthings are businesses, and they're trying to get business. But on our end, as consumers, we're oversaturated. We're numb to all these streaming services, and it's just too much. It's not the fault of any of the studios. They're just trying to run a business, and people subscribe to streaming services. Shudder. It's like, damn. Yeah, we're way oversaturated, and what it's going to do, and it is already doing, is a lot of these streaming services are going to fail, get canceled, go out of business, or consolidate. We've already seen with HBO Max, well, okay, not even HBO Max. Let's start it off with DC Universe. DC Universe is going away as far as streaming goes. DC Universe has failed. They have announced that they're just going to become a comic book reading service, which they already are now, but they've already started giving their shows to selling their shows to other streaming services. So, DC Universe is selling all of their cartoons and really great shows. They got some really great shows, but they just weren't making any money because there's not enough subscribers. Doom Patrol, Harley Quinn, Swamp Thing, Titans, all the great animated series. Those are all going to HBO Max. Many of them are already there. That's where I watch Doom Patrol. They sold Stargirl over to CW, which I think is a perfect fit. Stargirl is my favorite regular style television superhero show right now. That's on regular primetime television. So DC is out. CBS All Access is failed, basically. It's going to be reformatted into Paramount Plus so that they can have some sort of chance of surviving, but we don't even know if Paramount Plus is going to survive. Quibi, I don't see Quibi becoming a big thing. I think it's got a couple good shows right now that people are really enjoying, but I don't think that's going to last. We'll have to wait and see. Is Quibi free? If Quibi's free, maybe it'll last a while. Crackle's still around. Crackle had some good things on it every once in a while, but man, you have to remember that Crackle exists to even go watch Crackle. It's really hard to remember that Crackle exists. JP, what is your adults only drink? This is a drunk question from Finland. While I'm not consuming alcohol right now, except for when I'm in company of other people, I'll be having some drinks this Friday with this woman I'm going on a meal adventure with. We're going to have some drinks, but my drink of choice is rum. Not dark rum, not light rum, regular brown rum. Sailor Jerry type of rum. I love rum so much. Whiskey is also very, very good. Peanut butter whiskey kind of makes me frisky. Yeah. So I'm not drinking alone right now, but I do drink with friends. Matt says, I totally embarrassed myself meeting Katie Sackhoff. I would love to meet Katie Sackhoff. She seems so cool. Like as far as like her roles and stuff, she's great. Okay, cool. I like your Starbuck, she's on The Flash, blah, blah, blah. She's great. But as a person, I'll listen to it, watch an interview with her. I'm like, man, she would be so cool to hang out with. But you babbled like a dummy. I've done that when I've met people. I met Peter Steele a few times from Typo Negative back in the day. Man, I couldn't string two words together. And the words I did get together didn't make any sense together. They didn't belong together. But yeah, I've done that same thing. Quibi launched at the wrong time. It was designed to give people who are too busy some short info and entertainment, but people in lockdown have plenty of time to watch TV and surf the internet. Yeah, surfing the internet is what I'm trying to stop doing. It's gotten worse and worse over the last few weeks. Surfing for nothing. Just scrolling news feeds, in social media news feeds. Just scrolling. Oh, kind of bored now. Let's refresh and start to scroll all over again. I'm really trying to stop. In the evenings, I've actually, when I step away from my computer in the evenings, I go into my living room. I don't turn on my TV. I'll read or something or play guitar or something like that because I'm trying to retrain myself to not always need to be stimulated in the brain. But Quibi, I mean, I keep seeing the trailer for that sex doll show. That looks great. I would totally watch that. But after I'm done watching that, I'm done watching Quibi. I mean, there's only so much time in a day of a person's life to watch all these shows that I want to watch. I'm like, I can't watch all these shows. I can't watch it. I can't do it. I want to watch Lovecraft. There's this new show that just started on HBO called Third Day with I can't remember his name, but anyway, it looks crazy good. And I'm like, oh my god, I want to watch that. But then I'm like, I sit down to watch it. I'm like, it's just another thing to watch. What am I doing? Pranakasha Productions Just dropped $5 super chat. Jackson Pants, baby. Jackson Pants. Brian says, I watched Crackle for Gay Town, where everyone was gay. That was 2007. That's Mocklands. That's Mockless. I kind of want to watch that to see what they think a gay town would of nothing but gay. Well, I guess they'd have gay women and gay men, and they probably reproduce differently, or not differently, but like, okay, let's do this so we can make some babies. I don't know what they do. I find that people of all sexes are just like sex. All preferences in the end, just like sex. Just give me something to rub it up against. I don't care. Evil Empire. So JP, you're saying for $100 a month, I can have you watch any TV show I want with me? If we do the Zoom call, but also at the $100 level, you get to pick every month a video of something for me to watch and review. If you want to use your Zoom call to watch something, we can do that. But also, you get to pick what I review every single month. Like off the top of your head. Like I don't give you choices. It's off the top of your head. I have no say in the matter. I have to watch what you say and review it. Anobia says, you just made me want rum. I just made myself want rum. Haven't had any since my dad gave me a sip as a kid. I love it. I love it so much, but I'm not having it. Because I'm losing 100 pounds. In the next 6 months or less. But I will have some drinks as long as there's another person having a drink with me in a public place. I don't always drink, but when I do, come to think of it, I don't remember. I wonder what that's about. Stay thirsty, my friends. Have you checked out Pluto? Oh, yeah, Pluto is great. I used to watch a lot of Pluto last year. Because, on the Fire TV, you can have Pluto and it just kind of interact. It just becomes part of your regular TV guide. So you just say, okay, I want these channels from Pluto on my TV guide. Boom, there they are. I was watching Comedy Central, one of the Comedy Central stand-up channel every day. And this the regular Comedy Central, regular Pluto channel every day. Because it was just playing nonstop. Reno 911, South Park, Tosh. So I'll just sit there and watch it. Pluto is a damn good service, and it's free. If you like watching brand new stuff, Pluto's not for you. But if you don't mind about, stuff that's not brand new, Pluto's got a lifetime of stuff live to watch. Yeah. Star Trek. LDG says, I'm so pumped for season 3 of Star Trek Orville. I'm very interested to see what they're doing with season 3. I know I know that, and this isn't just talk, it's going to be epic. From the first episode. In season 2, we got the episode Jaloja, an amazing episode. I love it so much, but it was just a nice, low-key, let's just get the season started, start off some little premises here that we'll explore later on, episode with a pee break. But I do know that the season 3 premiere episode is huge. Pew-pews, explosions, possibly time travel is my prediction as well. I think there's going to be some legit time travel to the past going on. We'll have to see if I'm right, because I can think of a couple other scenarios that might explain what I've seen. But I'm thinking there's some time travel, but I don't know for sure. It could have just been some weird environmental simulator thing, or some crazy alien race that's messing with them. Maybe the Calivan are messing with the crew with some holodeck-style shenanigans. Ooh, maybe that's what it is. Calivan? Because I think the Calivan are coming back. Eccleston says, I had a rum and Coke once. That ruined me for rum. That ruined me for Coke. I have a strict rule. Don't ever put any alcohol inside of a soda. At all. Especially a Coca-Cola. Like if I have a rum and Coke, I'll have rum and I'll have a Coke. And I'll just sip them separately. I will never mix them. Yeah, I don't like Pluto because you can't search shows. I think they do have some things on demand, I think, but yeah. Pluto, I just use it for live TV. Back when I used to use it. I mean, I could use it now, but I just don't because I was just sitting there watching it and not getting stuff done. But well, there was some great stuff. Pluto has a Star Trek channel, a legit legacy Star Trek channel. It's brand new. It's just a couple months old. It's legit. It is from Star Trek. The company, the studio, the IP, they have a Star Trek Pluto channel. You go on there, it's always playing an episode of Star Trek. Always. TNG, Deep Space Nine, original series. It's always playing Star Trek. All day long, every day, 24 hours a day. Just for that, Pluto is worth it. And it's also worth it because it's free. But they have an entire Mystery Science Theater 3000 channel. Comedy Central Roast channel. There's like thousands of channels on there. Comedy Central has 10 channels on there. MTV has 10 channels on there. There's movies, horror movies, action movies. It's all there. You do got to watch commercials, though. Oh, good old Stargate. I watched a little bit of SG-1 back in the day when it was new. Of course, I've seen the movie a million times. Actually, on Egotastic FunTime Twitch channel, on every Friday, we do a watch party. A couple months ago, we watched the original Stargate movie. Ugh. Anobia says, I'm hearing Nicolas Cage joined Flash and DCEU as Superman. Now, of course, in Tim Burton's Superman movie that never got made, Nicolas Cage was cast as Superman forever ago. So if that's true, that's why they picked him for it. I don't want that, especially now since I saw what's his name from Smallville in the crossover event when the Smallville guy reprised his Clark Kent. I was like, oh man, he kind of looks like a badass Superman now. He's got the gray hair. He's got a nice build to him. He could totally be an older Superman now, even though he's still pretty young. A lot younger than Nicolas Cage. If they got Nicolas Cage to be Superman just as a fun goof, I'd be all for it. Especially since you have all those different universes in the CW DC universe. But yeah, as long as it's a one-time or a couple episode arc, it'd be fun to see Nicolas Cage. Because as we know, we can have a million different Supermans in the CW universe. Why not have Nicolas Cage's Tim Burton version show up? You heard about Pluto? That's messed up, right? Kelly, I'm picking up on your psyched reference. That's your Gus. Gus said that in Psych. There are some movies about a girl trying to submit a Star Trek script. Oh, yes, that's with What's-Her-Face. I hear that's a really good movie. I haven't watched it yet, but it's on my watch list. Yeah, what is that called? It's not Kristen Dunst. It's isn't the Little Miss Sunshine girl that plays that role? I can't remember, but when I was in October, when I was in Atlanta for the Axonar shoot, one of the crew was telling me all about that movie, and it sounds great. Yeah, that's right, Jonathan. Crackle was crap, yes. Then it was good. Then not so much. Crackle was crap, yes, and then it was good because of Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. But then they sold Comedian Cars Getting Coffee to Netflix for that sweet cash. And yeah, now who cares about Crackle, right? Dan Crane just dropped $10 in the super chat, you guys. What's going on with the Smoke 007 and his Orville project? Also, have you heard about Tom Cruise as Iron Man? I saw a thumbnail that says Tom Cruise as Iron Man, ? Just like you wrote right now. I heard something about that. As far as just I saw it on a thumbnail. That's it. I didn't read anything into it. Because until I see something, I don't believe anything that's on the internet. Nothing. Nothing at all do I believe. Unless it's officially announced or whatever, which maybe it was. I'm like, let's just not have Iron Man. Let's not do Iron Man. If Robert Downey Jr. doesn't want to play anymore, and the fact that we killed him off already, If he doesn't want to play Iron Man, let's not have Iron Man. He's dead in the universe. Let's just calm down. He did his thing. He did a decade. It was amazing. Just like I say with Spock, leave Spock alone. Spock was there. He was there for a long time. He was amazing. Leonard Nimoy. Let's just not have Spock anymore. Let's just leave it be and have our fond memories. We can still talk about him. I love Tom Cruise. I love Iron Man. I don't need him to play Iron Man because I don't need Iron Man. And I love Iron Man. That's just the hard truth of it. With the smoke with Eric Moran, who actually was, while we were streaming, Eric just tried to call me a minute ago. And things are going good. They got the first episode of the Orville Planetary Step fan series. Multiple episodes, like 8, 10 episodes. I got a couple of the latest scripts just sent to me in the email. I haven't read them yet, but they're on my list of things to do because I'm a technical advisor on the fan series, so I got to go through and just double check stuff. Things are going good. They got the first episode in the can. Just got to be edited, released, all that stuff, and they got their promotional pictures done, and they got the scripts. They're just got to schedule the next episode to be filmed. But yeah, it's all in the works. It's all happening. Of course, it's a little bit slower because it's hard to get these things done in this day and age with the pandemic, but they're doing it. Amazon wouldn't want their existing IP if they're going to make a show. Saying Michael says to Jonathan. Also, going back to Amazon, one thing I was really excited about with Amazon Prime is they announced that they're making and I haven't looked into this recently. I heard they were with Paul Scheer making a Galaxy Quest series for Amazon Prime. Is that still happening? Do any of you guys know if that's still happening? Or is it on the back burner because you can't really do much right now? Dr. Scott Giles, it's a real pleasure to help support Egotastic FunTime. It feels so good. And Egotastic FunTime is so consistently good. Well, I try. Thank you very much. I try. I don't think I'm always consistently good, but I try. Consistency is hard to do, so Egotastic is a real achievement. Thank you, Scott. I appreciate that. Makes me feel better, inspires me to keep going and keep trying to figure this thing out. All I know is we got to take over the world with positivity. That's the most important thing, and we got to stick together, stay together, get more people in here so that to escape the downers that are out there ready to spring a trap for them to make them not feel good about their fandom or about themselves or the thing that they like, or make them not like things that maybe they would have liked or at least not cared about one way or the other. It's all out there waiting for you guys. Pranakasha Productions, $5 super chat. Feels so good. Feels so good. It feels good, yeah. Thanks, Jonathan. Jonathan says, stay strong, JP. Yeah, why not? It's time they brought Captain Britain into the MCU. Yeah, like with Endgame, with the whole Captain America thing, where Captain America passed the torch over to Falcon, which I did not want. Let Falcon be Falcon. If Captain America doesn't want to be Captain America anymore, let's not have Captain America. Because for me, I don't think Captain America... It doesn't matter. First off, let's just get this straight. It doesn't matter one way or the other. It doesn't matter. Captain America's Captain America. If he passes the torch, that's just a deal with the Captain America stuff. He's not Captain America to me, and I don't hate him for it. For me, Captain America isn't something that you can just pass on. You got to have the origin story. You got to have the Captain America origin story to be Captain America. And since no one else but Captain America has that origin story, no one else can be Captain America to me. Yes, LDG, there was a story the other day, an official story, that the producer of the new Stargate series says we're moving forward. A new Stargate series will be coming. I don't know how far they are into it. I don't know if a script is made or the full series is fleshed out or whatever. But apparently they are moving forward with a new Stargate series at some point. Daredevil was incredible. Yeah, the Netflix show was great. Last article I read about Galaxy Quest series is that it was put on hold due to Alan Rickman's passing. Well, that's weird. I didn't even know Alan Rickman had anything to do with the new series. Or anybody from the original cast. I was under the impression it was a brand new series, brand new story, brand new characters. Some way, somehow, it actually ends up being a Galaxy Quest show. Or maybe a remake or something like that. I don't think it was a continuation at all. But also, I've heard a lot about the series way after Alan Rickman died. So I don't know. I'll have to look into it. I'm just being lazy. I think about it all the time, but I never just go into the Google and go, Galaxy Quest series, WTF. Let me know, Google. I haven't done that yet. I need to do that. Oh yeah, that might very well be true. It didn't sound like Stargate even had anyone to pick up their show yet. Oh, absolutely. They'll start moving forward with developing these new shows without having it picked up. That happens a lot. Now, sometimes the studio will say, okay, we want this show. Go out there and make it. We're going to announce it. But then there's other shows that are like, okay, we got enough funding to get this thing started, but we still have to get picked up by somebody to be shown to people and to get that support and the advertising and all that stuff and more money. Yeah, I heard the Paul Scheer rumors long after Rickman died. Yeah, same here. But it wasn't even rumors. I mean, I read interviews and stuff. Rosh says, what I do not understand is why the new Marvel series Falcon and the Winter Soldier is called that when it's a sequel series and Bucky Barnes is called the White Wolf. I don't know. Is it a sequel series or is it a prequel or an in-between series? I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and find out. But I know they won't call it White Wolf if nobody knows, if not enough people, if not general audiences don't know what White Wolf is. But they do know Winter Soldier. Maybe he goes back. Maybe in the story he's like, okay, call me Winter Soldier again or something like that. Or maybe they call him Winter Soldier. He's like, no, I'm White Wolf. They're like, shut up, you're Winter Soldier, dude. I do know, did you guys see the new trailer for WandaVision? I had an idea. I just figured WandaVision would be, you know, Scarlet Witch and what's his nuts? I can't remember his name. The robot dude that's not a robot. The Ultron dude. It's not Ultron, but that dude. I just figured it'd be some story with them. I had no idea it was going to be the crazy, coked out, weird ass Twilight Zone series that it's going to be, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm like, yes, something original, something different, something that they really thought about, and they're like, let's just do something so different and crazy. I'm so excited for WandaVision, and I never cared about any of those two characters in the Marvel Universe, and I'm so hyped for WandaVision, you guys. Yeah, what's his nuts? Vision, that's it, Vision. Yeah, he's the Vision part of Vision. Bucky Barnes. Yeah, WandaVision is... I was so excited. I was like, oh my god, I'm so impressed that I was just blown out of the water what I thought that show was going to be. I'm so excited for it. And I'm pretty sure Vision is probably not even real. Might even just be a figment of Scarlet Witch's imagination. We'll have to wait and see. Oh, there's a lot of characters that could still show up in the MCU, right? They're so stuck on the Avengers. It's like, okay, we've had a decade. The Avengers made the MCU the success that it is. I'm hoping that we're going in. What is this, Phase 2 or Phase 3, or is this Phase 4? Anyway, I know the latest phase of MCU is going to be the shortest lived one. It's kind of just like a crossover phase or a stepping stone. It's a bridge to get to the next phase. But of course, it's hard right now. They've had to move all the movies. They've had to push them all. And, Black Widow, which is really kind of... Black Widow, the whole purpose of that movie is just to introduce a new character that's going to be showing up later on. But the movie does look good. I never cared about Black Widow except for, man, I can't wait to see Black Widow in the next movie. I never really cared about her story. But the movie looks good. I was like, watching the trailers for Black Widow, I'm like, oh my god, I think I'm going to enjoy this. And but you know, it's probably there just to introduce her sister for the next phase, which is fine. But yeah, they got to do something different with Marvel, and I think you know, adding the TV Disney Plus universe is really going to help them really do some cool different stuff. Now that it turns out that WandaVision is so different than I thought it was going to be, I can't wait to see what kind of show Falcon and Winter Soldier is going to be. And man, why not give us a Disney Plus Hulk TV show? It's kind of hard to have a Hulk movie, but man, what about a Hulk Disney Plus show? I think that could be done very well. And hell, I say get rid of all the MCU movies and let's just do a whole bunch of Disney Plus series. You just want more Scarlet Witch? Yeah, I have to watch other movies to get my Scarlet Witch fit. Oh no, I do like what's her face Olsen. She seems cool. Yep, I never cared for Scarlet Witch, though I have nothing against her, but man, WandaVision looks so good. So I'm probably going to be a Scarlet Witch fan very soon. And I also didn't care about Vision. And I think I'm probably going to be a Vision fan very soon. And that's a nice feeling to see something and go, oh man, as opposed to, you know, so often the last 10 years we'll see a trailer, we're like, oh god, I don't know, and then we convince ourselves that we hate it even though we haven't seen it. That's just human nature. But we're like, oh good. But now there's a few things that we see trailers for and I'm like, oh my god, I never even cared about that, and now I'm like crazy excited. I was so done with Star Wars. So done with Star Wars. Saw that first trailer for The Mandalorian. I was instantly excited for Star Wars. And now I'm very much excited for it. And Mandalorian kind of got me excited for Star Wars again while I was watching it. You know, all the rest of the universe. I started thinking about, you know, old Star Wars. And I started getting excited about it again as opposed to annoyed. And then, you know, WandaVision and God, I can't think. Dune. I never cared about Dune. Man, that trailer looks great. It's nice to start seeing these things and being excited and not even thinking, oh God, I don't know. And you know, having that in the back of our heads or in the front of our mouths. It's fun to be. It's nice to be excited about stuff again. And I'm old. I'm excited about stuff like when I was a kid. Back in the day, we were just excited for everything, and everything sucked. All these superhero movies. Oh my god, they're making a superhero movie finally. Oh my god, I can't wait. Oh, that movie sucks. JP, I bestow upon you a fictional opportunity to bring back an old show renewed. Go. Oh, Quantum Leap, Sliders. I would say Firefly, but I still say Firefly, but it would have to be on a streaming service. Primetime television is a horrible place for legit hardcore sci-fi. No legit sci-fi that's like really out there, spaceships, planets. None of it survives on primetime television. So Netflix, Amazon, go ahead and give us a Firefly show, but a show like Quantum Leap, which kind of takes place in a world that we understand and we know, I think would do very well. Sliders also, I think, could do pretty well because, you know, it's alternate realities as opposed to, you know, spaceships and planets and stuff. So general audiences don't feel, you know, oh, don't play that nerd shit in front of me. I like sports, you know, that type of thing. So it could survive. But even Sliders I would prefer on a streaming service. But not Galaxy Quest, Quantum Leap, I think could do well on primetime, but also F primetime. F it. F primetime has left us as fans behind long ago. Primetime television is singing competitions and BS. And that's pretty much it, with the occasional really cool thing. And usually that thing's a comedy. Comedy still works on primetime. Everything else, streaming services will do right by whatever franchise you want to bring back. The Netflix is even Hulu does amazing originals as well. Amazon is doing a great job with their originals. Don't do Apple TV because I don't have Apple TV. Otherwise, if I had Apple TV, go ahead and put it on there, but I don't. HBO does well, but I don't even consider HBO a streaming service because it's still on cable. It's not a legit streaming service. And you're overpriced, HBO. Calm down. HBO's got so many good things, but their price is... You're not worth it, HBO. I'm sorry. You're wonderful. But $15 is highway robbery. F prime time. That's my quote, you guys. JP from Egotastic FunTime says F prime time. Pranakasha Productions, thank you so much for Super Chat, helping to support the channel. Pranakasha is a huge supporter of the channel, you guys. On Twitch, right here on YouTube, on the PayPal account, Patreon, merchandise, all, everything. Every single thing. Pranakasha Productions, Matt Weiss. Don't forget to check out Pranakasha Productions channel to see some awesome Star Trek universe, very original videos, as well as see me in the latest one, donning my Orville commandant uniform, which was purchased by Pranakasha Productions for our crossover Star Trek Orville videos. Yeah, HBO. I think HBO would even be worth it at $9.99, even though that's still a lot, but $15 is just inappropriate. Yeah, wouldn't it though? Scott Giles says it would be great to see Mark Ruffalo in a Hulk show. It would be fun, dramatic, presents a lot of great story opportunities, and I bet Ruffalo would enjoy it, and we would enjoy it. Ruffalo's a weirdo, but man, he's great. I love spending time with Ruffalo on the screen. He's just got that thing about him. He's just got that thing where you're like, man, I want this guy to be my brother. Prime or Netflix do a Manimal remake or reboot. Manama. Now I got HBO Max, which is the same price as HBO. I think if you have HBO, if you just sign into HBO Max with that username and password, I think it works. HBO Max has got some great stuff on it. Not the Max side, really, as far as movies go. The Max movies suck, but Max does have some good originals on there. And Max has all the DC Universe stuff, because all the DC Universe stuff went to HBO Max. More to come as well. Yeah, She-Hulk. That's going to be a good one. They picked, what's her name, from Black Orphan or whatever. I can't remember that girl's name, but I've always liked her and stuff. Yes, I'm all for She-Hulk. Never even cared about She-Hulk. Except for when I was a certain age. It was really nice to see She-Hulk in the comics every once in a while. But I think that'll be a great show. Maybe, do you think Mark Ruffalo will show up in the She-Hulk show? Got my emails popping in. Okay. Man, a lot of messages right now. Jeez Louise. Wow, we've done over a 2-hour show, you guys. JP, T'Pol and Phlox in Strange New Worlds, would you know, or would happen? Well, both of those characters, T'Pol and Phlox, could technically still live in Strange New Worlds. I really don't think that we're going to see them in Strange New Worlds, as people keep talking about it. I think someone just figured that out and said, oh, they're going to show up. I do know that T'Pol is showing up in a fan film very recently. But, of course, when we say T'Pol and Phlox, well, if they're going to have Phlox, that's going to be John Billingsley. But people just assume that T'Pol means Jolene Blaylock. I don't know if Jolene Blaylock's going to be doing anything. But I do know T'Pol is going to be in a upcoming. They've already done a bunch of it already in a Star Trek fan film. Orphan Black. Yeah, I haven't seen Orphan Black either, though I've seen a bunch of trailers. But I've always liked that girl. That that's the star of it. She's pretty cool. Yeah, wouldn't it be amazing if Mark shows up as the Hulk in She-Hulk? I mean, can you have She-Hulk without the Hulk? At least show up at least once or twice? Another reason She-Hulk could be good is because I really don't care. I have nothing invested in the She-Hulk universe or the comics, so I've always been aware of She-Hulk. I had nothing against She-Hulk, but it's just not something I never followed. So all the more reason why I'll probably like it, because it'll all be new to me. No, I believe the Obi-Wan series for Disney Plus is still going on. It's going to be directed by what's-her-face that directed a couple of really great episodes of The Mandalorian. Deborah Chow, I think. Deborah Chow, I think it might be. She's directing the entire series, but it's only going to be one season. It's a one and done, which I'm very happy about. If it got canceled, it must have been canceled the last couple days, but I haven't heard anything about it. But man, I'm really looking forward to the Obi-Wan series, and I'm really looking forward to the one and done. I think a lot of these shows, they get ruined. They come up with a great idea, and they're like, okay, people like it, so we got to keep this baby going. And then they just, drag it into the ground, beat it into the ground. So I love the idea of a one and done series, because that means before they even start, they can just come up with a story that has a strong beginning, middle, and end. They don't have to leave it open. We already know what the openness is because of the Star Wars films. So I'm really excited about that. And I think we need less ongoing series. We just need more stories. So have an Obi-Wan season and then be done with that, tell the story, and then let's have, a Boba Fett series for one season. Well, we kind of had The Mandalorian, which, Boba Fett's not a Mandalorian, he just wears the armor, but we don't need two Mandalorian armor characters running around. Oh! Very good, Archmage. Archmage says, I hope they cast Lou Ferrigno as She-Hulk dad. Ah, if she has a dad in the series, that should be it. I bet you they have Lou Ferrigno show up in some fashion. What if Lou Ferrigno in that She-Hulk universe is the male Hulk? He's just older now. Oh, maybe she's the daughter of the Lou Ferrigno Hulk, and it passed on to her. What? Gotta watch out for them gamma rays, you guys. No, I haven't. I've seen tiny bits of Star Trek Continues, but I wouldn't say I've watched it. I've seen clips. Ooh, hey JP, fun fight. Who would win, Nick Fury or Punisher? In the current universe, Punisher would kick Nick Fury's ass. Back in the day in the comic books, not so sure. But yeah, today's Punisher versus Samuel L. Jackson. Sam's getting his ass kicked. Peyote Pete, JP, my brother from another mother. Glad to see. Glad to say I've been harassing you for almost 2 years now. Always welcome, Peyote Pete. You're always welcome here. Harass me all you want. Zachary, what's her nuts? You mean what's her ovaries? Nope, always watch her nuts. Kick that girl right in the nuts. No, they haven't started. The hope, Paul, for the Orville, Fox is hoping to get them back in the studio in October, which is almost here. Don't know if that's going to officially happen because we don't know day by day. We don't know what's happening in the world, what rules are going to change. But Fox would like to have them back in October. Scott Giles says, I love good stories, well written and well acted, solidly directed in a word quality. Yes, and I think Star Trek, especially in the film world, would do better with all of that minus the budget. The budget is too big. I think the budgets are ruining these films. because they throw it all in digital effects, and they don't pay as much attention to the writing, the acting, and the directing. Even though I thought, the J.J. verse stuff was, a lot of it was written pretty well, not Into Darkness, but 2009 was what it needed to be, and I loved Beyond. That was written by Simon Pegg. The acting was good in all of it. Not necessarily a big fan of Quinto Spock, even though I like Quinto. And the directing was good, minus the lens flares. But too much money thrown at it. I would like all that money to go towards writing a really good story. And I think Star Trek would do well with a great story, great characters, great directing, and less of a budget. At least in a televised movie, or at least a series, because the problem is all the movies nowadays, you have to fill seats, or there's no point. You're not going to get money from investors unless they're going to get a big return. And that's very hard to do, especially now with the pandemic, but even before the pandemic. So that's why they have these big blockbusters, because they're not making movies for people to go buy a ticket, sit there, consider, be inspired, or think about an idea or whatever. They're there to be on a roller coaster ride. They're there for the exhilaration, the excitement, and a little titillation on the side. That's what gets general audiences in the seats. Regular fans are going to buy tickets anyway, but regular fans don't pay for anything, really. It's the general audiences. It's the popcorn eaters is where the money comes from. And so, yeah, unless you have big explosions and stuff, it's hard to get people into those seats. Not so much so on television, and you can make a lot of money with these streaming services and television. I bet you Mandalorian makes a lot more money on a streaming service than it ever would being up in a movie theater. All right, have a good night, Kelly. Yeah, I'm going to be ending the stream here. Yeah, I agree. Dave Filoni is basically George Lucas' apprentice. Yeah, I like Dave Filoni, but I'm not sold on Dave Filoni. Dave Filoni being attached to something doesn't make me think, oh man, I'm going to like this. It just makes me think, oh, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, I'm going to be ending the stream right now, you guys. We've done almost 2.5 hours. I will be taking this stream down and putting it up over on Egotastic 2 for anyone that came in late and wants to catch up on the entire conversation, or just people that want to just listen to it as a podcast, which a lot of you apparently do, which is really cool. Yeah, $1 million movies killed the movies. I blame you, Waterworld, even though you came in $10 million under budget. You bastards. All right, you guys. I want to thank you guys for all your support, standing up for fandom, Orville conversations, Star Trek conversations. Don't forget, we got a lot of great stuff coming to the Egotastic Plus Patreon page, Egotastic FunTime Plus. We're going to have a great time there. Weekly content coming out, personal stuff, tours, going around town, weekly videos and podcasts, at least once a month, and, direct content, and we're building everything. You can also help support with the PayPal link. Get JP some tacos. YouTube official channel member, which will also have access to a lot of the Patreon stuff that's out there. It just won't look as cool as far as like when it's presented to you. You have to click on stuff and then cool things happen. But as far as a post that lets you know you have access, oh, it looks like a post. But when you're on the Patreon, it's like, what? Pictures and stuff right there and blah, 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 blah. All right, so I'll see you guys very soon. Don't forget Twitch tomorrow, you guys, and Twitch on Friday. And I hope all your times are Egotastic FunTimes.